Hey everyone, so I'm at a point now where I'm very happy with how my boob job turned out, but there was a good long period where I very much regretted my decision to get a breast augmentation. I'm sharing this today because I feel like the positives of having a breast augmentation is what's primarily focused on, and I am going to cover some of that. But there are also complications and negatives that can be associated with it, like any surgery, and I feel like that's important to keep in mind whether you're a trans woman or a cis woman considering getting a breast augmentation. Since I haven't talked about this in a while, I just wanted to briefly share what I got to give you some perspective. The breast implants are about 450 cc's, putting me at about a 34D. And I got my breast implants at the same time I got my SRS back in mid-December of 2017, so I'm currently sitting at almost 2.5 years post-op, and I am very happy with where they are now, but I almost really regretted this decision to get implants for that first year to a year and a half after my surgery. So I want to very briefly talk about a thing called capsular contracture that occurs after having breast implants. I also want to preface I'm not a medical expert in this area by any means, so I'm just going to very briefly cover what I understand and relate this to my own experience. So essentially, because a breast implant is like a foreign object that you're putting into your body will have a sort of immune response to it, form a sort of capsule around it, which is kind of like scar tissue that forms around the breast implant, which helps in many ways hold it in place, helps it retain shape. But the contracture piece is when that capsule forms too much scar tissue, it becomes constricted, and it can change the shape of your breast implants. It kind of squeezes them into a different shape than what it's intended to be, and it can also create a firmness or discomfort, pain, all these sorts of bad things that you don't want. So I thankfully had a very mild case of capsular contracture, where I had some stiffness and pain, pretty uncomfortable for the first year, about year and a half. And I followed all the post-op orders in terms of wearing a compression bra, doing the various massages that were recommended, but I still got a firmness in my left breast that I did not get in my right breast. I started going to doctors. The original surgeons that I got it from were not very helpful, just as kind of the same situation that happened after my SRS. I went to my primary care in Florida. When I moved to Illinois, I went to, several doctors up there, including a plastic surgeon, just to essentially get their opinions on what is going on and if I should do anything about it. And initially the opinion was like, this will likely work out over time, or it hopefully will not get worse than it already is. But I didn't necessarily need any surgery at that point, because the thing about a capsular contracture is it happens during the healing period. So you could get a surgery to remove the capsule, put a new implant in, and hope that it heals right, but it might not. I could get the same problem or even a worse problem, and that would just ruin the whole point of getting that surgery. And that's what the plastic surgeon told me, and it was kind of just like, okay, I definitely don't want to do this then, because it doesn't feel like it would be worth it. And I'm still having some pain these days, but it's less frequent and less severe. And I think that's because, I continued my massaging, especially when it was feeling like firmer than normal and feeling very uncomfortable, and I kind of just gradually worked out the capsule, which if you know anything about this, that isn't always a good thing, which is why I went to the doctors again to get it re-examined, and everything is fine as of now. The firmness is definitely less frequent, the pain is much less frequent, because I think I kind of worked it out, but it was a process that took a lot of time, it took a lot of patience, and I think it was just kind of random happenstance over a period of time of just massaging that it eventually worked out. Kind of just felt it be like, oh, something changed. Not a fun process to go through. And again, I share this because I am very happy with where my breasts are at today. I think they look really good. They have increased my confidence a lot. I just feel much more comfortable in my body, and I don't regret the decision to get implants currently. But there were points during that first about year and a half where I'm like, oh, I kind of want to get rid of these. I don't know if this is worth it. Why did I do this? Where I'm at now, I would have regretted it if I did get rid of them. All that being said, complications can occur because it is a surgery. Keep that in mind. because I think this is something that I did not think about at all, and I think it's something that you may not be familiar with if you haven't had breast implants before, or you haven't like talked to friends or family that have had breast implants. You might not be aware of the potential complications because, like most surgeries, we kind of like to just focus on like the reasons that we're getting it, the positives. Like, it's going to make my boobs look bigger, it's going to make them look better, it's going to make me feel better and more confident in my body. But we don't like to think about the complications, and I think it's important to be honest about that. To have that in the back of our mind, like, okay, does this dissuade me from doing this if I know this could happen? No, but I know this could happen, and now I'm more prepared for the fact that if something weird happens or the recovery is more uncomfortable than expected, I can be more mentally prepared for that. I think that's something that's really important when it comes to any surgery. I also plan to do a video in the near future talking about kind of trans women tips for determining an implant size, so look for that. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. What are your experiences with having breast augmentation? Or are you currently considering one? Are there any concerns or hopes that you have in mind? What are your reactions to my experiences? As always, Tipsy and I love you very much, and we both hope that you're staying safe and healthy during this tough time. And if you haven't done so already, we'd also love it if you give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell and stay up to date to everything on my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.